Okay, so part two of this, we've got a lot of stuff back together. We've got our new water pump on. We've got our new timing idlers on. Put our camshaft sprocket back on. Got our inner cover back on. And we have our belt on. So let's take a look at how these belts line up. We've compressed our belt tensioner. Put it in the vise very slowly. I emphasize slowly because if you go too far, you'll either bend the tensioner or you'll pop the seal out of it. So very slowly compress that back. Stuck an Allen wrench in the holes to hold it compressed. Put it in. So let's take a look at what we got. Okay. So our tensioner is in. Okay. And what we do is, of course, it's compressed and it has an Allen key. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. It has an Allen key in it right there. And then we'll pull that to release the tensioner. But right now the tensioner is compressed, held with a key, and those two bolts are tight. What you do is you put it in, put all your belt and everything on, get behind it on this end with the screwdriver and put some tension on it this way and snug those bolts up. That way when you basically have taken the slack out mechanically out of the tensioner, and then when you pull the key, it's hydraulically tensioned. Your belts, when you get them, will typically have marks on them for each camshaft, for your crankshaft here, and your other camshaft. Now, when I put this one on, I found that the marks on this particular belt were your timing marks on the engine are on the top of, they line up perfectly with the top of the key, not the bottom of the key in the sprocket. And these marks seem to be on the bottom of the key. So all the marks are off slightly that way, because you got to go to the next one or the one before it. So they're going to be one way or the other. So don't stress about that. They won't be exact. They're just an aid. It's more important that your mark here and here is lined up. Your mark here and here is lined up, and the same on the other camshaft. So your camshafts are straight up, marks aligned. Your crankshaft is straight up, marks aligned on the inside. Okay, so now, I don't know if I can do this with one hand. Well, let me try to prop you guys up here somehow, and we'll release our timing belt tensioner. Alright, so I think you got you guys in place and see it. So I'm going to grab a hold of our Allen key, pull it out, and that has released our tensioner. And now what we'll do is we'll put our crank pulley on. Okay, and we'll just loosely put the bolt in. Okay, now we'll grab our tool. These tools, by the way, if you don't have any, are very, very simple to make. You can see what all they are is just, the bar with pins in it. Okay, so we'll go that way. Come back this way. What I'm doing is I'm equalizing the tension on the belt itself. I'm going to come back here. that should be pretty close. Let's see. Okay, my crankshaft is lined up. My camshaft on this side is lined up. And my camshaft on this side is lined up. Actually, I can go maybe just a hair that way. And that's lined up. That's lined up. That's lined up. So there you have it. Our belt is good. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take this back off. And now we can go ahead and I'll put our outer covers back on, pulley back on. I'm going to have to run to the auto store and get a new air conditioning and power steering belt for it. Those are looking kind of crappy, and we'll bring it back and see if it fires up. Alright, covers are all back on, fans are in, belts are on. Looks like we're all back together. On these, they're very susceptible to airlocks, like I mentioned before with the thermostat. So when you're actually filling these radiators, what I do, the older ones used to have an air bleed on one side, these newer ones don't. So what I do is I take this hose off and I actually fill the block through the upper radiator hose. Get that so the coolant's up to about here, what it's set. Then I start adding to the radiator until that's full. And by then usually you can put a little bit more in here, slide it on there, and finish off here. And that way there you won't get any air pockets in there. At least this seems to work out alright. When we first started, it should drop a little bit. We'll just top it off, put the cap on, and we should be good to go. Alright, so if we've done everything correctly, this should start. Let's see how it does. Okay. Alright, so there you have it. That's basically timing belt water pump replacement on a 96 Subaru 2.2 liter. This was kind of a quick one. Didn't get really in depth because we want to get going with this thing. We're gonna, like I say, we're gonna autocross it tomorrow, and there will be video of the autocross. We're gonna put the GoPro in the car as we go. So there's another car coming. I'm actually going to go pick it up tonight. I purchased another one of these that I found, a 2000. This is a 96, and the 2000 is a 5-speed with a nav system. It does have, sounds like it threw a rod or spun a bearing, something very, very wrong in the center of the engine. So that'll be a project upcoming. We'll see what's up with that. It is crashed a little bit on the side too. It's got some body damage. But once again, it was inexpensive to buy. And this one here, we did find some WRX wheels for it with brand new tires. We got those on. So, and the other thing is we did get our wing on. So it makes it look a little better. When it gets to the point where it's all one color, it'd be even better yet. So that's an upcoming thing. So there you have it. That's how we do it here. Now, like I say, I was incorrect on my torque on the front pulley. I did look it up, and it was 82 foot-pounds is what we torqued that to. So a little correction on that. It's a good idea if you're going to be working on these, get yourself a manual and you know, always look all this stuff up. So anywho, that's it for that. So like I say, there will be autocross video tomorrow from the GoPro, and where's Camera Girl's going to go. Camera Girl may have an actual stress fracture in her foot, so it might be kind of interesting. I'm not quite 100% sure yet she'll drive, but she wants to. So that's it for now. So until tomorrow, catch you later.